ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤ ਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਧੰਨ 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 ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਗੋਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਜੀ ਹੋਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਆਓ ਸਭ ਮਾਈ ਭਾਈ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਸਹਿਤ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਧਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਈਏ। ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅਸੀਸਾਂ ਬਖਸ਼ਣ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਥਾ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ਾਂ ਰਹਿਮਤਾਂ ਮਿਹਰਾਂ ਕਰਨਗੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਹਿਰਦਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸ ਜਾਵੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj has now brought us to the 19th Hukam of their 52 Hukams. And this 19th Hukam is as follows: ਜਿਤਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਹੋਣ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਲਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ। So whatever work that you are able to do and that needs doing, do not be lazy or lethargic in doing it. Guru Rup Sadh Sangat Ji, even though the Hukam seems pretty straightforward, it's not to be lazy, but Guru Sahib Ji's Hukam can go deep and deep and deep every time you scratch off the surface a bit more. Even though there is no place in Gursikhi, in Gurmat, for a lazy, stagnant kind of lifestyle, Gursikhi, Gurmat promotes more of an active lifestyle. If we take our minds back to the very first Hukam that Guru Sahib Ji blessed us with, which was Dharm di Kirt Karni, and then to the fourth Hukam of Amrit Vele Jaake Shnan Karna, Amrit Vele Jagna. So where on the one hand Maharaj is telling us to have an active lifestyle, not to have a sluggish lifestyle where, you know, we're a deadbeat, do nothing, stays at home kind of individual. Where Maharaj promotes, encourages us to work, and then by that work look after our own individual needs and whatnot. At the same time, Maharaj, in the fourth hukam, indicates that it's not just about our worldly grasp of dharm di girt. There's a spiritual side to it as well. In both respects, not to falter, not to waver, not to achieve less than what you're able to achieve. Even though Guru Maharaj Ji blessed us with these hukams at Sri Hajur Sahib, and it was to the Sikh Sanctum, but Guru Maharaj's hukam, Maharaj's philosophy, Maharaj's way is such that it's open to absolutely pretty much all humanity. Anyone that wants to listen to Guru Sahib Ji's teaching and they feel they can take something away from it, they can do. It's not just primarily for Gur Sikhs. It is for Gur Sikhs, but anyone that can take anything away from it, it's for them. Now, Gurmukha, when it comes to being lazy, we would normally think of a person sitting on a sofa not doing much at all. And that's about it. And what that involves is more of the body than anything else. But the laziness Guru Sahib Ji talks about is about the mind, body and the soul of all three. Now, if we start off with the body, okay? If we just take a little glimpse into the lifestyle of an average Joe, even though we are the same human beings as we were 100 years ago, 90, 70, 60, 50, 40, even far back as 40 years ago, even though we're still the same human beings, but you'll see, those of you that work in healthcare and whatnot, the same human being has got far more physical and mental complications. You got issues such as diabetes, depression, obesity, cardio, back pain, joint pain, muscular pain, respiratory system problems, and so on and so forth. And this pretty much by large has a lot to do with the lifestyles that we live. Like I said, if we take just a tiny little glimpse into the lifestyle of, say, an average Joe, what do? They get up just in time to get to work. People are quite clever these days. What they do, they realize it's going to take them 45 minutes to get ready. So if they're starting work at 8, they'll make sure they get up at 7:45, be out the house by 6:30, and they're at work at 7 o'clock. So just about gets out of bed, rushes out the house, having brushed their teeth and maybe combed their hair, doesn't prepare anything at home to eat, either jumps in the car or gets on the train straight into work, even though a lot of people work not too far from where they live and it's a walking distance, but they jump in the car. Once they're at work, either they have themselves a coffee or some packed lunch, processed food normally, I beg your pardon, not packed lunch, mainly they go out and eat. Very few of those people that actually take food from home themselves and spend that time in the morning preparing it. Having worked all day, if you've not walked to work and you've taken your car, you're going to come back in a car. Come back home, chuck your bag to one side, your coat to one side, and then it's either make a cup of tea and sit in front of the TV, maybe watch EastEnders, and then whatever else. I've got no idea what's on TV, but I know EastEnders used to come on TV at one stage. And the same with kids. Kids hardly walk to school these days. I used to go to a school that was about 1.5 miles away from where I lived, maybe 2 miles. The thing is, we never had a car because my dad died when I was quite young, so there was no driver in the house. So I walked to school. It didn't kill me. What it does, it actually gets your blood circulation going. And with your good blood circulation, not only is it good for your body, it's also good for your mind. I normally, sometimes after having a good day at work, I'll get on my bike and I'll go for a damn good bike ride. And when I say good bike ride, I'll be out of breath for a good half an hour, 40 minutes. And the way it not only rejuvenates you, your thinking becomes crisp clear as well. And continue doing that, you tend to normalize that as your lifestyle, rather than having a sluggish and a downwards lifestyle to having a more of an active lifestyle. Now, here, what the laziness is a lack of exercise and activity. And those people that work in these fields, I sometimes read about this kind of stuff, and one guy was writing about, he was quite a bit of an expert. Not only did he suffer with depression, you could call him an expert enough on depression. And what he said is that depression isn't only linked just to the mind, even though it is in the mind. He said it's in the food we eat, the intake we take in through our eyes and our ears, the company we keep, the choices we make. He said all these interweave to cause this condition called depression. Now, if we live that kind of a lifestyle that we've just heard of, it's a very stagnant kind of lifestyle. It's doing just what needs doing and not more than that. In good Sikh, it's totally the opposite. Like, you're encouraged, like when we come to Gurdwara here, food is cooked fresh every single day. Just imagine if we started serving microwave meals here. But we tend to at home adopt that kind of a lifestyle. No, I'm not saying anyone here. All I'm looking at into is a glimpse of your average job. Like we said, dishwashing, we got a dishwasher. Car washing, we go and pay a fiver. These are all activities that we can do. There was a research study done by some health professionals, and it was to do with people that suffer from diabetes. Now, what they targeted was the older age range, and they first studied them very meticulously for about a week, and they documented everything, recorded everything, how they lived, what they were eating, how much exercise they got, how they'd respond to you if you want to talk to them, if they wanted to talk to you at all. And then the next week, the condition was this: they must do whatever the producers of this documentary or what the professional team was saying. They must do that. And the next week, what they done, the condition was this: on top of, I'll have to call it the zero lifestyle they led, or the minimum lifestyle, should I say. On top of that, what they had to do was 45 minutes to an hour of just chores around the house. Just chores around the house, nothing else. On top of that, they had to walk between half an hour and 45 minutes a day at a brisk pace. Now, this was something they weren't used to. On the first day, there was a lot of moaning and groaning and a lot of disagreement. On the second day, there was a slight repeat of that. Third day, it started to kind of get slightly better. I beg your pardon, it wasn't for a week, it was actually 2 weeks. By the end of those 2 weeks, what the participants said themselves, they said, we feel far greater, far better. And while they were going through this, they were being monitored by health professionals, and their sugar levels were far better. They didn't need as much of the medication that they were taking. Their general health was better. Their mental well-being was much better. Now, when Guru Sahib says to us, whatever needs doing in your life, do it yourself. It's not about the odd thing every now and then. It's pretty much our every single day activities that we need to do. Wash the car yourself. That's a good 15-20 minutes of you scrubbing away at the car and then rinsing it and then hoovering the inside. Hoover your house, wash your dishes, do whatever you can, walk to work. If you can't, where does laziness begin? It begins in the mind. The body doesn't really get tired. The mind convinces us. It's sometimes hard to, unless you've kind of conditioned yourself into thinking this way, that A, there's a body, B, there's a mind, and then there's yourself. Then it's hard to think this way, but the mind convinces the self that the body is tired. It's not tired. Another guy who done a bit of research into this, what he said is, for those people that find it hard to get out of bed in the morning, as soon as your eyes are open, now this is going to sound quite tough, but I've tried it and it works. Not that I have any problem getting out of bed, but I like to be a guinea pig, if I can call it that. So, what he said is, in the morning, as soon as your eyes open, get out of bed within 15 seconds. If you don't, after 15 seconds, what starts to happen is you start having this conversation subconsciously with your mind, where you start thinking, do I really need to get out of bed? Maybe I'll wait another half an hour, 40 minutes, and then what you tend to do is you tend to doze off again. So, when Guru Sahib is telling us, do whatever needs doing and do it yourself with your own hands, it's in all aspects in life. Now, if we move on from this, from the average Joe, now let's look at above average Joe. Someone who wakes up early, goes to the gym, prepares their own food in the morning, goes to, walks to work, jogs, bicycles, whatever, other than a bus or car or train. And then whilst at work, they've eaten their healthy meal, From there, they'll walk back, or whichever method they took to go to work, they'll come back. Rather than slugging out in front of a TV, what do? They maybe go and play a sport like badminton or tennis or whatever in the evening. And then again back at home and asleep. Now you'd think this person who's not only good health-wise but is now looking good as well, you'd think they're not lazy. No, there's a big lazy here, a lazy that we can't see. And no one, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone here. It's a general vichar. I normally have conversations with my friends who are super athletes. And if you say to them, we get up in the morning and snan karke hai, the nitnem kar, they go, no, we can't do that. Gurdwara chal ja, darshan kar, no, I can't do that. Seva kare, no, I don't want to go Gurdwara. I say, why don't you want to go Gurdwara? They said all that happens at the Gurdwara is in India and Chugli. And it shocked me when one of them said that to me. And him, I'm not going to mention his name, he lives here in Slough and he's super fit. You can't pinch one, you just can't pinch him. He's that muscular, he's very well built. Now he goes, all that happens at the Gurdwara is in India Chugli. Now, that's what he sees. What about the seva that happens here? What about the vichar that's going on here? What about the kirtan? Why has he got so lazy? He doesn't want to find the art of Gurbani. He doesn't want to find the art of Kirtan. He doesn't want to get involved in seva. The toilets downstairs, the men's toilets, they stink. There's seva that needs doing for a male. The downstairs in the langar hall, twice a day, even if someone broomed it, it's not enough. So the laziness for this person here is, despite them having a good physical well-being, spiritually they're dead. Spiritually, they're as lazy as they come. Now, why is this a bad laziness? Because the ability is there in the body to do everything else bodily, but not for the spiritual side. So bodily, there's no lazy. All the boxes are ticked. But when it comes to the spiritual side, there's all red crosses in there. There's nothing being achieved. So when Maharaj is saying, don't be lazy, it's in every aspect. Now, moving further from there to my brothers and sisters, and when I say that, even though I am your das, when I say my brothers and sisters, I'm specifically pointing at those people, Jinane Amrit Chakya. Now, if you've got all the boxes ticked of the previous person, you go gym, you don't, you prepare your own food, you walk everywhere, you do exercise, you don't miss out on anything at all. If physically you're prepared, and then you've taken Amrit, which is the biggest step you can take, and then on top of that, you get up in the morning, Amrit Vele, you do Ishnan, you get yourself to do Nitnem, come Guru Kar, Darshan Karke, even done half an hour seva here and there. But then limited your Jivan just to that. There's an even bigger lazy in this. Why? Because physically you're there. Spiritually you've made an attempt, but you've come to a halt. And what's the halt you've come to? It's called Farz Nibana. Farz Nibana is, when we take Amrit, the Panch Pyare will tell you what is the minimum bare requirement required of you as a good Sikh. And if all we're doing, and my namaskar is to every single good Sikh that lives up to what the Panch Pyare have told them, they're far greater than me. So I'm not going to dig at anyone. But if all we're doing is meeting that criteria, there's a big lazy in there. And the big lazy is the lack of progression on the spiritual path. So there's a physical and spiritual aspect there, but there's no progress. And that progress, what are we progressing towards? Tan Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says to us in Sri Asa Ji Diwar, Maharaj says, Apan Hathi, Apana Ape Hi Kaj Swariya. All the tat is in that one pankti there. Apan Hathi, Apana Ape Hi Kaj Swariya. What is the Kaj? Kaj means task. Swariya means to accomplish. What is the task that we need to accomplish? The task Gurmukho, the whole point of this human form is mukti. That's what Guru Sahib Ji expects us to achieve. Absolutely yes, mukti is in the hands of Tan Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Mukti is in their hands. But Guru Sahib Ji didn't say just sit back and relax and I'll give it to you. Maharaj says toil day and night. Jini naam te aaya gaye masakkat ka hal. Maharaj says toil towards it day and night and you'll get true mukti. Mukti is not going to come to us, we have to go to mukti. So, if this hukam about not being lazy, I beg your pardon, if this hukam truly applies to what we've heard today, it applies to this, where spiritual and physical well-being are equal like two birds, sorry, beg your pardon, two wings on a bird, but there's no use a bird having two wings if he's never going to take flight. The flight is a progression. Now, the question is this to my brothers and to my sisters: have we met Siddhi Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji yet? And if we haven't met Siddhi Akal Purkh Ji Vaheguru Ji yet, then why have we stopped? Why have we become lazy in achieving the whole point of this human form? Why have we become lazy at achieving that task that needs to be done? When we undertake that struggle, that Uddam, where we bring our surti, our dhyan to a poise. When our surti, our dhyan comes to a poise, and through much effort and uddam, we learn to hold it there. This is what Guruji expects from us, especially after taking Amrit. Once the surti, our dhyan, has come to a poise and we've held it there, then turning it away from the Triguni Mayavik world that we live in. Having then turned it away from there, via Guru Shabad, Gur Mantar, Siri Mool Mantar Sahib Ji, then traveling inwards until we realize something known as our Atam Sarup. If, having taken Amrit, all we've done is the Farz Nibana, like I said, my namaskar to all those Guru Sikhs that live by the teachings and the Hukam of the Panj Pyare. Anyone that does Japji Sahib, my namaskar to them. But it's not the end of the journey. If I wanted to go to Glasgow and I set up from here and then stopped off at Oxford and Gaini gaya, I'll never get to Glasgow until I actually get to Glasgow. And the only way to get to Glasgow is if I carry on that route. That's why it's called a pant. Pant means path, means way. Where is it leading to? It's leading to mukti. So why do we become lazy in this? Or are we shying away from it because mera ji nahi karta, like the sluggish individual at home? If you say to him, why do you walk to work, ji nahi karta? Why do you wash your dishes, ji nahi karta? Or have we become like that person subconsciously? Dhan Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, every day at Nitnem, sometimes I have to stop at this pankti, because this is the pankti that kind of knocks you off. Maharaj says, Salahi, Salahe, Eti Sultana Paiya, Nadiyan Ate Vaha, Pave Samund Na Jani Hai. Guru Maharaj says, Salahi, talking to me, talking to us, the praiser, the one who's doing the praise. Salahi, Salahe. Maharaj says, praiser, praise. We're all praising, but if we're doing just Farj Nibana, that praise isn't enough. Why? Maharaj says, Iti Sultana Paiya. Maharaj says, haven't you brought into your surti this? And if we ask Maharaj, what isn't it that we haven't brought into our surti? Maharaj says, Nadiyan ate vaha, pave samund na janiye. Maharaj says, haven't you brought this into your surti yet, Gursikh? That drop of rain that fell from the sky, having landed on the earth, whether it got seeped into the ground or whether it fell straight in the river, it did not stop its journey. If it went into the ground, it did not stop until it met with the river. This Sad Sangat is the river. The other river is when we sit alone, dhyan tarke. Once that drop of water has come into that river, Nadiyan Ateva, and the Vad Nade, the smaller streams, when they all come to join, what do? That multitude of drops does not stop moving on its path until it meets the sea. Pava is samund, until it does not go into the samund. Once it goes into the samund, na janiye. So until it does not go into the samundar, na janiye, it does not come to know that samundar. We as good Sikhs, who have achieved the physical active state and somewhat of the spiritual, cannot become lazy and stop until we achieve this, where the Atam Swarup is reached and meets with the Paramatam Swarup. Gurmukha, that brings us to the end of today's Divan. So the Sar Tat in a bowl, part what was the message from Guru Sahib Ji, that whatever affair that we need to have resolved in this life, do it by your own hands. The worldly affairs we do with these two hands. The spiritual affairs we do by the hands of inside, which is Gur Mantra and Mool Mantra side. Until we have not resolved what we came here for, we should not get lazy and give up. So, Enyak Bentiya Pravan Karde Hoye, my brothers and sisters and my elders, please forgive any mistakes that were made. Das would like to thank Tan Sadguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and you, Guru Pyari Sad Sangat Ji. Next week, it will be the 20th Hukam, and until we meet again, let's all join in Gur Fateh and take Maharaj's blessings. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.